let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go. 6. It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up, and let's go.
Let's make lemonade. Let's go to work, everybody. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com, powered by Willis Automotive. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Android app, thanks for tuning in. If you are watching on YouTube this morning, give this channel a subscription, give the video a like, start leaving your comments, and we like seeing what's going on amongst all the Rush Nation. Rush Nation. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Ross Peterson, happy May Day. Happy May Day.
Hooray, hooray. It's the 1st of May. Outdoor screwing begins today.
Outdoor screwing begins.
You ever heard that?
I've never heard outdoor screwing begins today.
Oh, what do you heard? Outdoor what?
Because my mind is never in the gutter. I am a Puritan.
Right.
I am a Puritan.
That actually came from one of my ex-wife's friend's moms. Fun lady. Fun lady.
Did she like to screw outside?
Apparently that. She was just a fun lady. She was the one at the funeral. They played oh geez. Well, it's later than you think. Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. You ever heard that song?
I don't think I have.
It's a fun one. And it basically is like, hey, life's going to go fast. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Outdoor
Enjoy
sex,
yourself.
by the way, highly overrated. Highly overrated is outdoor sex. In my book.
Okay.
In my book. I mean, I've got a weird side, right? I've got a weird side, but outdoor sex.
I got a weird side. It's not for public. I'll just say that. It's not. This. What I do can't be done in a park, Ross.
Yeah,
that's what he just said to us, folks.
Now, and I don't count camping like a tent and stuff like that, like outdoor sex.
Do you need apparatuses? Why can't?
No. I mean, just like, hey, what do you think? Right now, right here? That's just highly overrated because it's.
Trav's looking around. He's going, that tree should work.
Yeah, that tree should work. Yeah, your back's to the tree, not me. Did you do? And we do this every year on May 1st, and I bring it up because it's a once a year tradition.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I did May baskets. We would do the ring and run. You get the little styrofoam coffee cups. You'd fill them up with popcorn, M&Ms, and some other candy, and get like the pipe cleaners, the felt pipe cleaners, and
make a handle.
And then you'd go to your friend's house and you ring the doorbell and you take off and they'd have a May basket. That stopped when I was a kid because I don't think my kids did May baskets ever. I can't remember.
My kids don't, but when I was a kid, we did. But the family that did it was your relatives. The family that kept it alive in our neighborhood was your relatives. The
Austins, huh?
Yeah. And then my kids, I think it's been a couple of years, but one of the families that moved to town about 10 years ago, they moved in town from Montana. And the first couple of years they did May baskets.
See, now you can't do them anymore because they have to be like, people probably put signs in their front door window. Don't leave a May basket if it has peanuts involved with it. Because you got to worry about an allergy for about everything.
That's a good point. I just thought you meant COVID. I figured COVID ended that.
That's probably it too. But
don't bring your disease-infested styrofoam into my neighborhood.
I love styrofoam. I know that's not politically correct, but styrofoam is the greatest for keeping drinks hot and cold. If I'm going to drink something, I want it to be styrofoam based.
Are you serious?
I love styrofoam.
Is styrofoam basically what's inside of an insulated cup?
I don't know the answer to that. I always thought like a Yeti was lined with like tinfoil. For some reason, I've seen like these how-to videos on YouTube on how to make your igloo cooler that's crap a Yeti, and it's basically line it with tinfoil, and it'll like keep ice and everything cold forever.
Crazy. The stuff you learn. The stuff you learn. I had a little bit of an AI snafu this morning. Haven't had a chance to tell you this. Conflicting information on the AIs this morning, Travis.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was interested in something that I thought might be kind of fun. Because the Colorado Rockies pulled off a narrow 2-1 victory over the Atlanta Braves.
Well, look at that. Beating the Braves.
Beat the Braves. Yeah, right.
Braves.
End April 5-25.
Wow. Makes me want to go to Denver and watch a Rockies game. Said no one ever.
It is the worst April record in MLB history. Okay. Now they did snap in
worse than the White Sox last year.
Worse than the White Sox last year. They won 5 games in the month of April. So I thought to myself, wonder if an NFL team has ever won 5 games in a month. I mean, having 5 Sundays in a month is rare.
Yes.
Yeah. But to win all 5 Sundays, to play all 5 Sundays, and to win all 5 Sundays, I wondered if it had ever happened. So the first thing I did was I typed it into the Google machine, and I didn't like my answer because my first answer was no, it's unlikely. And in fact, statistically impossible for an NFL team to win 5 games in a month. And then it breaks it down. The regular season has 17 games, typically played over 18 weeks. There's no more than 1 game per week. Therefore, the maximum number of games a team could potentially play in a month is 4. That's not right. That's not right. So go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT, hey, has an NFL team ever won 5 games in a month? Yeah, NFL teams have won 5 games in a month. Happened a few times. Do you want to know the last time it happened?
I do.
I did too. It was the 2015 Carolina Panthers. Weeks 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. They beat the Colts, Packers, Titans, Redskins, and Cowboys, and ended with as many wins in the month of November as the Rockies just had in April.
That's impressive.
5-25 is something.
So what we're hearing now is that ChatGPT is smarter than the Google machine. You would
far superior.
Far superior. Far superior.
But what do I know?
So don't go to Google for your answers anymore. You go straight to Chat. But
There's
Google
so
has
many
Gemini. I'm surprised.
I'm just telling you what I just experienced right before we came on the air. I was getting curious. You know me and my inquisitive idiotnesses that I want to know stuff. And I just found some stuff out. And one of the things I found out is ChatGPT for the win.
Now, it's going to get harder and harder to get 5 wins in a month just based on bye weeks and stuff like that, because I'm trying to think if they even had bye weeks back in 2015. I'm sure they did.
Oh, yeah. At bye weeks, absolutely. Yeah. They just hadn't expanded. Now it's when did they expand the season?
I don't even know.
When did it go to 17 games over 18 weeks? Because it used to be 16 over 17. That might have been around 2015. I don't remember. No, I don't remember.
But 10 years ago is the last time it happened with the Carolina
It's rare.
Panthers.
It's tough. I mean, again, winning 5 in a row in the NFL is very difficult. Having 5 Sundays in a month is rare. And now that, again, with bye weeks. So I just found it to be interesting because.
Does it give you the other teams that also got 5 wins, or did it just give you the Carolina Panthers?
We can ask it.
Look at me with a follow-up question.
The follow-up questions for the ChatGPT.
Okay, what other teams, ChatGPT, have also gotten 5 wins in a month?
Miami Dolphins in 1972 in October. Kansas City Chiefs in October of 2003, and the Pittsburgh Steelers in December of 2005.
There you go. There you go.
How about that?
Ross is like a walking encyclopedia.
I'm not. I've got this device in my pocket that is. It's now giving me the details of every single game.
And by the way, I think that's a good use of ChatGPT, and the fact that it's becoming it used to be like ESPN that had like the Elias Sports Network or Elias Sports, and you had to subscribe to that. Well, now that ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini or Copilot, whatever AI device you use, has that information.
Yeah.
Does this become
interesting.
The new Wikipedia in the fact that
it is. What do you mean? Does it become? It is.
Maybe
it
more
is,
accurate than Wikipedia.
I use it for so much stuff. I mean, we've talked about it, but like, there's so many things. There's so many things that you can use it for. The interesting thing with the 2003 Kansas City Chiefs, 5 wins in 1 month. Their last game of the month on October 30th was a Thursday night game. So that was not a 5 Sunday month. They happened to get their 5th win of the month. They go October 5th, 12th, 19th, 26th, October 30th to sneak in that 5th win.
But that still counts, right? Because you got
5 wins in a month. Yeah. I mean, hell, the Rockies had to sneak past on the last day of April to get 5.
So what did the White Sox end up with? If the Rockies had 5,
that's a good question.
Did the White Sox end up with 7 wins? 7 or 8, I believe, in April, which is still not very good.
I bet my article says here. It's got to be.
Either that or you just go to the standings on ESPN.com.
And look at last year. Or you're talking about this year? What's
this year? Yeah. Because they had to be pretty close to that number.
Well, all right, we're getting there. Excuse me. Get into the standings.
We've got time.
Why wouldn't they put the American League and the National League together at one time? Why wouldn't they just do that? White Sox went 7-23. I mean, hell, they're a whole 2 games better. Seven and 23. And now we've got 2 teams that are historically awful.
They really are.
Right on the heels of the worst. Man, the hell's going on? Why is the Dodgers? Is what's going on in Major League Baseball? Is the money separation is starting to show its ugly face? How do we have 2 franchises now that are historically bad?
Yeah, because you're always going to have bad teams, right?
And it's not a rebuild. It's not like, well, look, we see what they're doing. I mean, if we saw what they were doing, the White Sox wouldn't be having back-to-back years of this. And maybe we should get Birchie on to talk about this, or Hanrahan, or somebody that's been paying a lot more attention. What the hell is going on that 2 of these teams are not bad, awful,
historically bad? And what does that do for fan bases? You know, you try to bring people to the ballpark. You're like, I'm not going to go watch that, because the difference between Major League Baseball and minor league baseball is you go to a Major League game, you go for the baseball. I mean, there's other parts of it, but you go because you want to watch the baseball.
You can see it in Major League Baseball. Winning directly is reflected by attendance. There's rare exceptions. The Cubs were for a long time. That was always the joke, right? The Cubs didn't win because they didn't have to, because Wrigley Field was a party that a baseball game broke out in, and people were there. For the most part in baseball, you got to win to draw people in. It's that way in professional sports. It's not just baseball.
I would say it's that way in sports, right? I mean, look at
Iowa. Yeah, and even winning doesn't do it sometimes. There's got to be this magic dust.
Of course, the Rush Radio Show is presented and powered by Willis Automotive. Did you go to Willis Automotive yesterday?
I should have told you this. This was not. I went to Willis to go get an oil change earlier this week. Okay, this is one of those like customer service stories that makes you go back to a place. And I was telling Courtney about it, and I'm like, God, I got to remember to tell Travis this on the air so that I can share this with our listeners and just brag about what Willis is for a minute. So I went in and got my oil change, and they found 2 nails in a tire. 2 nails in one tire.
And you weren't losing air?
No, not at all. Not at all. Now, that tire, that right front tire, does have a faulty air pressure sensor in it. You know what I mean? How you're
Oh, yeah. I just replaced all 4 air pressure sensors on my Impala. All 4
Really?
of them just got replaced.
How much did that cost you?
I think we did a bunch of other work to the car, but I think the sensors alone, all 4 came to like $500 or something like that.
Yeah. It was about $125 for me to get this sensor. It was a little over $100, right? So when I got my oil change, it happened to be I had to get going that day. I had a bunch of stuff going on. I needed my truck. I had my signs, all that stuff, because they're like, we can give you a loaner car. We can take care of it now. They tried to help me solve the problem right away. I said, nope, it's okay. Can I drive the car with the nails? Like, yeah, you're not losing air. You're fine. Bring it back and we can replace it. And then we can order this part for you. So Dylan calls me yesterday and he's like, hey, I found that part for you. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, it's $125. I'm like, damn. And I go, man, do I need it? I said, here's the deal. I'm going to leave it up to you, man. You tell me, do I need it? And he goes, no, you don't need it. He goes, I wouldn't do it. I'd deal with the beep rather than no. And there was something about that I was like, yeah, that's the type of mechanic you want, right? Those are the type of service people you want to go to that aren't just saying, oh, yeah. I can get more money out of you. Yeah, let's get that. Crack open the checkbook, homie. Let's get more cash from you.
Now, here's where you and I are different, is that I love my air tire sensors because
really,
yeah, I like to be able to go and see how much air is it, because for some reason I have tire issues. And
really,
yeah, really more so in the winter. For some reason, when it gets cold, which is natural, you lose a little bit of air. But I'm like, oh, I know some people, and I'm kind of one of them. I'll drive with like the air with the tire pressure sensor up so I can see where all 4 tires are. I'm like, screw the speedometer. I'm going to go as fast or as slow as I want, but I want to know how much air is in my tires. That my OCD would drive so me up a wall.
It's one of the things that I will scroll past. You know what I mean? Because if I notice the car pull a little bit, that's I'm like, oh, am I losing pressure? Always 42s. 42s are okay. I'm good to go. So you're funny.
I am.
I just respected that. I don't know. There was something about that thing that I've been very lucky with mechanics in my life. I don't think I've ever really had that. There can be this perception that that there's those mechanics that are out to get you. That was just really refreshing. That the guy says, no, man. Is it going to bother you? You tell me about your experience. If it bothers you, I'll replace it. Do you need it to drive the car? No.
Well, we have a similar story. Well, first of all, going back to Willis, the fact that you went in for an oil change and they found nails in your tire, most oil change places aren't going to look at your tires. They're just going to change the oil, get you out, right? The fact that they found the nails is impressive to me. They're like, oh, we're going to, because you always wonder, do you really do the full body? You drive in, get a full service oil change. Do you really look at it all?
Yeah, for $19.99 in 6 minutes.
Because I'm not, so close to Willis that I use a different mechanic, but I'll call and say, hey, Scott, my check engine light's on. And his first question is it blinking? I'm like, no. He goes, you're good.
You're good.
You're good. He goes, just keep this in mind. If it's blinking, get it here now. If it's not blinking, you're good to go.
His first question should be, which car is it?
That's true. I have 6.
Yeah. And which car is it? It's the van. Burn it.
Yeah.
Check engine light is on. Good. Let it burn.
Let it burn. Let it burn down. The thing is, that has a new transmission to it, has a new gas tank to it.
It's the most valuable car in the fleet.
I wouldn't say that. I think we're going to sell it, though. I think we're going to part ways with it. I don't know who wants it. I know I won't get out of it what I put into it. But if you're a carpet layer or something like that, what I found is the most valuable part of that van, honest to God, are the seats. Because there's a lot of those vans that don't have seats, and you could actually sell the seats for more than anything else. People want the seats more than they want anything else, because it's seats like 15.
I have a friend. I didn't know what he did for a living. Okay. I found out the other day what he does for a living. Does really well. I knew he did really, really well. I didn't know what he did. Travis, he takes apart airplanes and sells the pieces of them.
Hold on.
Yep,
Takes apart airplanes?
Yep. Takes it, not even airplanes. Buys airplane parts, takes the airplane parts apart, and then sells the pieces of the parts for more than he bought the part.
Why can't I be that smart?
That's what I'm saying. You hear that stuff and you're like, oh, that was right there.
And you're like, you make a living doing this?
Not a living, a killing.
And there's a difference between making a living and making a killing.
And I want to be clear here. It's not white collar. He sent us a video the other day of him disassembling an airplane crapper. So it's not.
Are we talking like 747s? Or are we talking like
this is a? I'll ask him about that. But this was a specific type of airplane crapper, or a specific type of crapper that a lot of airplanes use. And then there's this one part that goes bad in them, and so he takes them apart. So it's brilliant.
Yeah, but people out there are doing. There's people listening to the show.
Mike
right
just
now.
wrote, said, airplane part brokers make bank. That's apparently what that job is called. I didn't even know.
Airplane part broker. Do you write that on a resume? What do you do for a living? I'm a broker of what? Airplane parts. Okay.
And I'm telling you, people would hear it and be like, "Oh, the money! You can make money doing that. You got to work your ass off." Do you want to go to the airport, pick up a bunch of crappers, take them to your house, and disassemble them? Because now you've started the process.
That seems like a lot of work in my book.
It was. I tell you, it was impressive to watch. He sent us like this high speed, this sped up video of it. It was impressive. It was like that's man work. It was really neat.
Then you have to know like what the actual parts of an airplane are. I mean, it's not like you're just disassembling parts. You need to know what that part is for so you can put it on eBay and market it.
There's so many, dude. Like Jeff Bezos, how he launched Amazon is incredible. It was a bookstore. He wanted to sell books online. Now the dude is launching Katy Perry into space. That's a true story. I'm going to sell books out of my garage. And in a few decades, my ex-wife is going to be the richest woman on the planet from divorcing me. That's how I'll be that wealthy.
What do you guys do for a living? Well, we have an internet radio show. I have 3 other podcasts, and I sell construction services.
This is the conversations I always think of whenever people are like, Ross, what do you talk about? It's a Des Moines-based sports show. Oh, you guys talk a lot of Hawkeyes and Cyclones and Bulldogs and Panthers? Yeah. Yeah, but we talk about other stuff too. Just be ready. If you're going to tune in.
Yeah, we've covered outdoor sex, Mayday, tire sensors, Colorado Rockies, and now airplane parts.
We did sneak some sports in there, but that was really in a conversation about AI.
Yes, it was. And what AI generator do you use the most? What's more reliable? My daughter has to be to school by 7:00 this morning, Ross. Why is it? When you have like award ceremonies, when they do when Eli does like the Letterman's night, right? When he they usually have it like an award ceremony at night, right? You get together, parents can come. I think they do that for Hall of Fame inductions and all that stuff. The Fine Arts Award program today is at 7 a.m. So the art students do their show at 7:00 in the morning. I can't go. It's like, well, we got to do something for fine arts, so let's just put it at 7:00 in the morning.
Okay,
I know.
It's their decision. Listen? I can. This is one of those. What's the right word for this? This is like a canary in a coal mine, or you can let the worm out of the. I want to be careful here, but I will tell you, there is this kind of unspoken thing around schools the arts have been their own worst enemy. The arts,
I'm listening.
The people that push for more music and dance and the arts, the stuff like that, they've become their own worst enemy inside a lot of schools. They've become their self-worth, their idea of their own importance.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that way at my daughter's school.
Not all of them. Not all of them. I don't mean it that way. And at most places, they seem to just be ships in the night.
Yeah,
and passing. But a few times I've talked to some folks, and they're like, "Oh, you know who we hate? Show choir." And remember
jazz hands.
Do you remember the day I posted that video? I was at some wrestling tournament for Eli, and I love going and tour, because again, you got like an hour between matches sometimes. So I love to tour the schools and go look at the trophy cases and their Hall of Fames and all that stuff. And there's this amazing phenomena that happens on these trophy cases. You can see, state runner-ups and state participant trophies. And then if they're lucky, a few state champion. I think Valley was the one I was at, where they've got like a whole section of all their different state championship trophies, right? And then you see this area, dude. They have these trophies that are unbelievable. I mean, like 8-foot tall trophies. Because the state champion trophies, they're about 3 foot tall. They're big. They're really cool looking, maybe even taller, and they're really beautiful. And then there's these trophy cases with like literally 8-foot tall trophies. What did they win over there? 4th place in the national showcase of show choir. 4th place. Or it'll say like 4th runner up. Is 4th runner up 5th place?
I believe so, yeah.
I think so too. You got an 8-foot trophy for 5th place.
If we make it bigger, people will care more.
I was blown away, and I mentioned it to somebody. And this was not at Valley. I don't want to. I remember being at one school and mentioning it, and the people were like, "Oh, don't talk to us about band." I was like, "Whoa,
you don't understand the time the marching band puts in."
Yeah. Well, no. It was not. It was not give the respect to the band. It was. They think they're so important around here.
Now, I come from an artsy-fartsy family, so, my wife was in the marching band, the jazz band, the Iowa State marching band. My daughter's an artist, going to an art school for college. I respect the arts.
I do too. But this is kind of like that Harley-Davidson conversation. I respect guys that ride Harleys too, right? Sometimes they're their own worst enemy.
Douchebags, as South Park likes to call.
And I think that the arts have their share.
515-517-2303.
Weird start to the show.
A weird start, but a fun start. It's a good way to kick off the month of May here on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby. You got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before. You know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection. and see how bats and bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Brendan Santone here with Willis Cadillac. Well, we're already off to a jumping start. Have quite a few vehicles to select from. XT5, 4, and 6 are all still running special APR up to 84 months, along with rebates as well. Escalades, as you can see, we are getting a few here and there that are available. Stop out in person in Clive to visit us and see one of our 50 cars in stock, or at williscadillac.com.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig, Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. We are here till 8 o'clock today. We do have a busy Thursday. We have Baconfest tickets to give away. Of course, Baconfest coming up this Saturday at the Iowa State Fairgrounds at the Agricultural Building. We'll give those away before this half hour is up because we got a busy 7 o'clock hour coming up.
Travis is going to make it super easy today. You're just going to need to know the name of Brooks's first cat.
That's a good one.
It's not.
Brooks, if you're listening right now, text me the name of your first cat. And we'll try to use that.
You know that Brooks. You know what? That would be a fun one for Brooks. I bet you. Do you think they were one of those families that had really weird animal names, like Baxter the Cackster or something like that?
Like stopped at really weird with the Reynolds family, and the answer is yes. That's what it is. I mean, look.
There had to be some normalcy in there. I mean,
I don't know.
Now watch. Now, would it be normal or weird if they had named their animals human names? Like, don't you think that's always kind of funny when you get to somebody's house? You're like, oh, it's the dog's name. They're like, Carl. You're like, oh, awesome. What's up, Carl?
But wouldn't you say Carl is a weird name for a cat? What's your cat's name? Carl? And you'd be like, that's weird.
Yeah. I think I've told you my brother used to have birds. He had a bird named Larry. Larry Bird? Come on.
I like it. It's really good. That's my bird, Larry. And then nobody gets it until you're like driving home and you're like, oh, I get it. Larry Bird.
I called Travis with the joke yesterday.
He did. Oh, that was a good joke.
I liked that joke. That was fun.
That was a really, really
I'll
good
tell Bruno later. See if he likes it.
But Baconfest is Saturday. Tickets as low as $29. You can go to blueribbonbaconfestival.com. Beer, bacon, bands, and of course, a great prize to give away. That includes a Caribbean cruise for two, which includes airfare and a $500 gift card for spending cash. And that's brought to you by Community Choice Credit Union. So, again, before the end of this half hour, we will be giving away Baconfest tickets. Coming up at 7 o'clock, we are going to be joined by Creighton head coach Greg McDermott. Of course, Greg McDermott got two former Hawkeyes out of the transfer portal in Owen Freemen and Josh Dix. Full transparency, it is a recorded interview. We recorded it last night. But I tell you what, just to give you a little preview, he's so personable. He's so likable. that before you're done with the interview, even though he's talking to me and Ross, you're going to feel like he's your best friend.
Yeah, it's not a CEO thing. That, some coaches, we've talked about this, like Rick Pitino, John Calipari. Some coaches have a CEO thing about them. Some coaches have a way of doing that. They've got this charisma where they bring you in. They've got something about their personality is infectious. And when you're around them, you go, oh, yeah, I want to be around that guy. Quite frankly, you're after a few minutes, you're like, you know what? When I grow up, I want to be like this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just decided I want to be a Division I basketball coach too.
And you look at the Greg McDermott coaching tree, which includes Hendo at Drake, it includes Darren DeVries, Alan Huss, who's going to be the next head coach at Creighton. We talk about that. And you get a lot of coaches that want to be around him, and obviously a lot of players. And we do specifically talk about Owen Freemen and Josh Dix. So that's coming up just after 7 o'clock. Greg McDermott. Then at 7:30, Bruno's going to hop on with us, and we'll be talking about a lot of things with Bruno. Maybe Rosh will even tell his funny joke. It was a funny joke. Sometimes they're corny.
Listen, my jokes are corny. My jokes are corny. Be ready. I'm preparing you now. Safe space. You know what makes a joke a dad joke, right?
No.
When it becomes apparent.
I see what you did there.
That's the king of dad jokes right there. That's the best one.
Sometimes when it comes to the game of public relations, there's a number of ways to look at public relations. Let's use, it's how you react, and sometimes you need to react and handle it right. We thought the kid that made the prank call with the Atlanta Falcons did the right thing and came out right away, owned it, and said, hey, NFL, you don't have to investigate. I did this. I screwed up. Handled it. The Sanders family handled it great. We used Tyrese Halliburton yesterday as an example, and the fact that his dad made a fool of himself, and he called his dad out and basically made the conversation go away. But sometimes, Ross, I believe saying nothing is actually the right strategy. And what I mean by that is it will just kind of go away. Well, Bill Belichick can't get out of his own way.
Dude, remember I said on Monday after the draft, I said, there's a rhythm to this. You might not like it, but here's the playbook. Go silent. We were talking about Shedeur Sanders at that time. Here's how you rebuild your reputation. Step 1, shut up. That's hard because you want to fight. And you want to go, no. Everybody's misunderstanding. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. You bury it. You bury yourself. And we're seeing that with Bill Belichick, which I'm kind of surprised by this because, man, this is a guy that has done a really good job of shutting the hell up for a long time.
This could be youth and inexperience, not with Bill Belichick, but with his girlfriend, who is kind of in charge of his personal brand right now. We talked about it on Monday, which was the weird CBS Sunday Morning interview and how his girlfriend was kind of involved. And when they asked him how they met, she came up and said, we're not going to talk about this. And of course, when you're doing that, when you get up and do that, that almost becomes the interview. That becomes the one thing everybody remembers, right? And it looked a little controlling. It looked like you were hiding something. So Bill Belichick yesterday decided to release a statement saying, when I agreed to do this interview to promote my new book, because that's what he's doing, promoting a new book, he told his publisher, which is Simon & Schuster, very, very big publisher, that the only interviews he would do would be only about the book. Well, the truth is, when we have people on this show that want to promote something, yeah, we'll let you talk about what you want to promote, but there's so many other things you want to have a conversation about that if you can't talk about other things, and the truth is, when it comes to Bill Belichick, you can talk about the book all you want, but in the world, everybody's like, how did you end up with a 24-year-old? Right. And so he puts out this statement saying, I didn't agree to answer these questions. And we've been very open on how we met before, and that we met on an airplane going to like Palm Springs or something like that. I could have the city wrong. Well, if you just would have answered that question like that, then nobody would remember it. You can say, I've talked about, all you have to do is go, well, I've talked about this before, but we've been on an airplane and struck up a conversation and realized we had something in common. Boom, it's over. It's over. Now you release a statement. Then CBS comes back and releases a statement and says, hold on for a second. When we agreed to sit down with Bill Belichick, we said we want an open-ended conversation where we can talk about everything. And the publisher said, no problem, go ahead.
Yeah, I could have told you that was something was lost in translation.
But to me, nobody's going to criticize CBS News for asking the question. They're going to criticize Bill Belichick for releasing a statement going, this even continues to look like you're hiding even more.
Yes.
Or you're playing the game of, well, I look bad, so now the statement's going to make me look better. And the first thing you say is, when I agreed to do the interview, it was only about this. Well, we want to know more than that. We're happy about your book, but geez.
We could give a crap less about the book, right? I mean,
true, fair.
You want to promote it and get and tell people that it's out there so that it sells, and you're Bill Belichick, and so it will sell. Dude, to do an interview with CBS, how did Bill Belichick, again, you've nailed this, Travis. How did Bill Belichick fall for this? How do you not know that CBS is going to tape the interview, cut up the interview, only play the sensational stuff of it? That's what they do.
That's what everybody does. I mean, when we play sound on here, if we play a sound clip, it's usually something sensational to where you're like, oh my God, because it's a talking point, right? It is like, that's what drives interaction and drives engagement. It drives interest.
And that's what CBS is. It's not news. And I'm not knocking just CBS. It's not news. It's entertainment. And how do they get your eyeballs? And this got our eyeballs, and this got us talking. And if Bill Belichick had done what you said, Travis, and just answered that question like he should have, he could have washed it away by just going, oh yeah, we've talked about this. It's not really that amazing of a story. We were on an airplane together. She's obviously beautiful. Struck up a conversation, and it's led to this. That never would have made the air. It would not have. It would have been on the editing room floor, as they say, right? It would have been cut out of there. And the interview would have been the one that Bill Belichick was maybe hoping for a little bit more. But the fact is, this has become the story. And I don't just mean this moment of not answering. I mean him having this 24-year-old girlfriend. I think you're probably right about, what? This is so off for Bill Belichick. All of it. He never talks to the media.
Yeah,
he hates the media. He knows that the media is going to steer it and spin it and do all this. Why is he talking now? And why is he surprised that the media is doing exactly what he's always known the media better than anybody? Bill Belichick knew this better than anybody. Hey, just shut up. Just if you talk like this and you mumble, they aren't going to play you on the TV a lot. And you guys are looking for something fun. The guy nailed it for 20 plus years. He nailed that. And now all of a sudden he can't get out of his way. I think you've hit the nail on the head here, Travis. This is that 24-year-old with a lot of influence saying, you got to get in front of this. This is the way the world works in 2025, Bill. You don't know. I know. I'm an influencer. I get TikTok. I get Instagram. Bill, you got to get in front of this. You can't let other people control the narrative. Whereas Bill Belichick knew for years the real playbook. What's the real playbook, Travis? Step one is what? Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up. You got a PR nightmare? Shut up. Go quiet.
Or if you are a talker, if you are a Rick Pitino or something like that, you're savvy enough to stay in front of it. But if your MO has been shut up before,
Travis, even Rick Pitino followed the playbook when he had the PR nightmare. He went quiet for a little while. He went to Iona. He humbled himself. He found God. That's the playbook, right? It's there. Go quiet for a period of time. Sometimes it's a month. Sometimes it's 3 months. This would have blown over. Belichick would have gone away. And he, by the way, he still could run the playbook. Shut up. Just shut everything off for a while. Go to the Maldives for 2 weeks.
Just coach your football team.
There you go. There's
Just-
an idea. Do the thing that you're supposed to be doing. That's a good idea.
Just coach your football team. Somebody who got out in front of it was the Atlanta Falcons and the son of the defensive coordinator that made the prank call to Shedeur Sanders. He got out in front of it by releasing a statement, but he's gone quiet. And now his dad talked yesterday because, Ross, the NFL fined Jeff Ulbrich $100,000. They fined the Atlanta Falcons $250,000 for the inability to keep classified information basically classified, meaning that, hey, the sad thing is you're in your own home. You're at the kitchen table and you walk away and, I don't know, go grab a beer or whatever. And to me, I know what they're saying, but he's probably like, what else could I have done besides, hit
listen,
the sleep button
I don't want to give. I don't know.
I'm not defending him. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and so I don't want to just take his excuse or reason and go because this is what everybody
he doesn't
does.
have an excuse. He goes, I screwed up. I mean,
No. But I am saying, Travis, there is a little bit of the Shaggy thing here of like, oh, I just walked away. I just left my laptop.
I'm probably delivering that more than he is.
Okay.
I mean, because
we don't know how the kid got the information, and they and whatever story they tell us is going to be attorney PR spin. I'm certain of
his son did say that he was home, saw it on his dad's laptop, and wrote it down.
I've heard that. I get that. What I'm saying is I understand that's what they're saying. That doesn't mean that's the story of how it went down. I get it. That's their story. I don't think I need to repeat it for them because I don't know that that's true. What I do know is true is the kid got the number, the kid made the phone call, the kid had his friends record him making the phone call, and then they posted that to the internet so that they could get this slam dunk. Look at how cool we are. We just burned Shedeur Sanders, a human being who's going through what could, up to this point in his life, maybe the worst day in his life, and we just made it worse. Yeah, sweet boys.
And nobody in the country thought they were cool for doing that. Nobody.
Travis, don't kid yourself. Yes, they did. Don't kid yourself. There are still people that think, oh man, what they did was so funny, dude. They got his number and they called it, and then they lied to him, and they had enough balls to actually read off a script for like 7 seconds. That was hilarious. Frat boys, bro. There are people that think that what those guys did was funny and that Shedeur Sanders deserved it because, he wears gold chains and is cocky. I'm not sure if you knew that. That's what this world we live in is. So this is the other crappy thing. Again, my brain's so cynical. So the Falcons are fined $250,000.
Yes.
The coach is fined $100,000. Who gets this $350,000?
The National Football League.
How were they violated in any way? How are they the victim in this thing?
It's kind of like the movie, the line at the end of National Treasure when Harvey Keitel is talking to Nicolas Cage. He goes, "I just don't want to go to jail." And he goes, "Somebody's got to go to jail."
Right.
And this is one of those things like, where's it going to go? Who's the victim? Doesn't matter. Somebody's got to get fined.
Yeah.
Because it's just what we have to do.
And Brian says if this is the worst day of Shedeur's life, then should be considered very blessed. He is very blessed. And I don't know that it's the worst day of life. I just know that it's a day that he's realizing he's costing himself millions of dollars. It's a day he had to have been realizing the error of his ways and some of the mistakes that they've made along the way. I mean, that realization had to be setting in at some point. And so that's all I'm looking at. To add to a human being's misery and then for people to celebrate that his misery got compounded. Who's the bad guy here? It's the kid that was bragged about how good he was at football. You didn't like that. And so it's okay that we're able to. Okay. But then the NFL again. NFL just saw this as they went ka-ching.
Well, and
Money,
Ethan
money,
points
money,
out
money.
it goes to charity, and all fines go to
Oh, really?
to
Okay.
charity.
That's cool.
And the NFL does brag, if you watch enough NFL games, about the number of charities they give to.
Yeah.
So I'll believe that it goes to charity. I want to believe that it goes to charity.
See what Ethan added there? That's good. It also becomes a tax write-off for the person who's fined. It's all a farce.
I donated $100,000 to NFL charity.
And so,
if you can get it. I do want to say this. Caller number 3 at 515-517-2303. Caller number 3 is going to get a pair of Baconfest tickets. Ooh. So start calling now. I want to keep this conversation going. I'm going to monitor the phone line at 515-517-2303. But what I'm amazed at, and we've seen it on the YouTube chat, and the NFL is also investigating other prank calls that were made that night. And, a lot of people said Cooper DeJean was pranked a lot during his draft a year ago. I didn't know prank calls to players was a thing until like this year.
I did until the Shedeur Sanders thing.
Yeah.
Travis, I learned a lot. The Shedeur Sanders thing, I learned a lot with it. And again, one of those moments of like, oh, duh, should have known that. That the NFL actually issues them a phone. It's not just like, hey, by the way, here's my agent's cell phone or here's mom's house number. It's not that. The NFL, did you know this? The NFL sends them a phone. The NFL,
I didn't know that.
Yes, the NFL sends each player that might get drafted a phone. And then they send out that list of private phone numbers to the NFL teams and say, all right, if you're going to draft these kids, here's the phone number. Here's the phone that we've sent to them. That's how it's not just like,
here's your personal cell phone. They basically gave him a burner phone. Said, here's your burner phone. 515-517-2303. A lot of phone calls lined up, which is always a good sign. John, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Just listening to you guys and laughing about Shedeur Sanders.
John, I hate to tell you this. You're caller number 1. You did not win the Bacon
Fest. What? This is why I hate caller 3. What the hell?
Good news, John, is we're going to be giving away tickets tomorrow, just to let you know.
What the?
Thanks, Trav.
All right.
Have a great one.
Thanks, man.
You too, Ross.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
So you want me to skip caller number 2 so I don't have to let him down?
You do you, man. Whatever was in your brain, whatever you wanted to do, whatever's going to make your soul happy, Travis.
Man.
Talk to number 2. Let him know. Go ahead. Talk to number 2. I want to hear you do this again. Break somebody else's heart.
Nick, what's going on?
What's up, Trav?
We all get to ride along with you.
Win. Damn it.
We get to Nick. We get to ride the lightning with you here. We don't know. We don't know if you're 2 or 3, dude. We're all along on this roller coaster with you right now.
Guess what?
That's awesome. Let's pray that I do.
Guess what? You're not going to Baconfest.
Unbelievable.
Damn it.
But
damn it.
We're going to give away tickets again tomorrow. Just to let you know.
All right. I'll try tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Have a good one.
This is one of those rose ceremony things. You're bringing people up. You're like Ryan Seacrest. Do you want to know if you're going to Baconfest? Yeah, I do. We'll let you know after the break.
Who's this?
Yo, what's up?
Oh!
Greg. Am I number 3?
The Rev.
Baby, yeah! Baconfest!
Oh!
Magic bacon brownies.
I could not have timed that any better.
Awesome. I'll be looking forward to seeing Ross down there. Travis, hope he is coming down. I thought Owen's playing.
No, Owen's playing the State Fair. Yachty by Nature. Yachty by Nature is playing.
I'll check him out.
All right.
Real.
Hey, Rev, I'm going to read. Hey, Rev.
And,
Rev, do you have an email?
Yeah, it's RL.
No. Don't give it over the air. Here's the deal.
Well, that's just in case any listeners want to get a hold of me.
Your dealer for life.
All right. Hey, Rev, I'm going to reach out to you a little bit later on. I'm going to get your email a little bit later on, and they'll be emailing you some tickets.
Hey, well, you got my phone number now.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, boy.
Thanks, Rev.
All right. I'll see you soon.
See ya.
All right, later.
I'm not calling him from my cell phone. I've called the other winners from my cell phone, so they have my cell phone number. I'm not calling Ray from my cell phone. Just not going to do it. If he gets my cell phone number, I'm going to be getting texts, calls, all sorts of things. Oh, man.
That was amazing. I didn't know, Mick. I was all excited. I was like, oh, here we go. I didn't know. Had you skipped over 2 and gone straight to 3? That was a ride. That was fun.
See?
Sign me up for that every day. Got the adrenaline pumping. Bacon munchies for Rev. What the first thing he said? Yeah, bacon brownies.
Yeah, he goes, I'm going to bring some bacon brownies. I don't think you can bring your own bacon brownies.
Mr. Onan wrote, I just signed Rev up for every junk email I can find.
And that's worse. Has anybody ever done that to you? Signed you up for junk email?
Not that I know of. I did see one that was really good the other day, and it said, when I receive spam phone calls or scam calls or whatever you would call those, I go to this website and type in the phone number, and basically it's an internet site for people that want to buy puppies. And I say, hey, free puppies at this phone number. And then I text the number, hope the puppies are doing well, so they know that I did it. Like, oh, that's really good.
See, I've got a spam filter. I've got the Google phone, and so it lets me know, hey, spam risk, all this stuff, and it has a Google Assistant on it that comes on and goes, you've called I'm a Google Assistant. Please let me know what you're talking about, and I'll forward your call to the phone owner.
I know that because I've had to get through that, by the way, on your phone.
Have you really?
Yeah. But on the iPhone, mine just says scam likely. That's enough. I look at that, I go, nope. Voicemail for you, scammer.
515-517-2303. When we come back, Creighton head coach Greg McDermott is going to join us. We have a fun conversation. Full disclosure, it's a recorded interview. It'll sound the same. It'll look the same, except I'm wearing different clothes. But it's a fun conversation with Greg McDermott as he talks about Owen Freemen and Josh Dix, who left the Iowa program to join the Creighton program and the differences that they could make, and so much more next on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's $25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Hey everybody, this is Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity. A couple of great things going on this month. We got tons of inventory, and on top of that, right now, we have 1.99 out to 60 months on the new QX60 and up to $2,500 in cash on here. Also this month, we are still doing the 2.9% up to 60 on new QX80s, the 3000 in Conquest. For more information, visit your favorite Infinity sales consultant on our showroom or online at willisinfinity.com.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
We've returned and we brought snacks, sarcasm, and absolutely no sense of shame. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Thursday. Happy May Day. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushladio.com or on the Android, the Rush with Travis and Rosh app, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, give this channel a subscription. Help us continue to grow our community. Like this video and leave your comments if you are so well inclined. You can follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram.
Charlie's got a couple things. He said, "Hey Ross, those spoof numbers, they're usually not calling from the number that they actually, they're using as a dummy number, so you might be sending all those puppies to innocent people." I've never done that. I just thought it was an awesome idea. But I think thank you, Charlie, for stopping me from doing something stupid. And then he also wrote and said, "Hey, I thought maybe you guys could get Jeremy Stevens on this week because he's fighting in the UFC card and back in his hometown." I've got a lot of connections to Jeremy, but the UFC and media is a whole other beast. And they're not allowed to just, kind of like Caitlin Clark has a PR team. It's like they work for a university. We have to go through the university to get Ben McCollum. We have to go through the UFC to get Jeremy. And that was a tough hurdle. I'll be honest. I didn't even try for Jeremy because the UFC hurdle is just a difficult one. So
yeah, even if you have relationships, sometimes they're like, "Hey, I'd love to help you out, but you got to go through this."
You got to go through the proper channels here, and so anyway, that didn't work out for us to be able to get Jeremy on. But we will be having Chris Connolly on tomorrow to talk about what an amazing weekend this is going to be. Travis, this even blew away my expectations for what this weekend was going to be. I thought people would love the UFC. This has become huge.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to talk to Chris Connolly about, because let's not forget, you got WWE on Friday night and then UFC on Saturday night. Right now, we are going to take the time to talk to Greg McDermott. Greg McDermott, former Northern Iowa head coach, former Iowa State head coach, and he's been at Creighton since 2010. At Creighton, Ross, 350 wins, 171 losses. He is the all-time leader in wins at Creighton University. And that's saying a lot, considering Dana Altman was there for 16 years and built that program into a powerhouse. Greg took over for Dana Altman and has maintained its level of success, going to 8 NCAA tournaments, including an Elite 8 appearance a couple years ago. They made it to the Sweet 16 this year. He was the 2020 Big East Coach of the Year. And Greg McDermott joins us now on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Greg McDermott, I'm going to be honest with you. You are probably the most mentioned coach on the Rush Radio Show, because we have Bill Fendley on a lot, and we had Hendo on from Drake the other day, and he mentions you. You're a popular guy on this show.
I think I'm an old guy. I think that's what that means. I think I've been around long enough that I pretty much know everybody. So, but those are two of the best right there.
What is that relationship with Bill Fendley? Because I'm serious. I mean, for years he's come on and he just – I mean, I know you made that connection at Iowa State, but you can tell there's a real connection between you two.
Yeah, obviously, I had a tough go at Iowa State. We were never able to really get it turned around. And if the transfer portal was the way it is today, we could have probably turned it relatively quickly, but that wasn't the case back then. And he was just a great mentor and friend to me and to our family. So we've stayed in touch over the years, and He's in my opinion, one of the best coaches in the game, on the men's side or the women's side. So, he's always ready if I have a question, and, we share a couple plays back and forth during the course of the season.
Yeah. You know what it takes to compete at a lot of levels, and we'll maybe talk about that Iowa State stuff and those differences that happen in that, Coach. But let's talk about Coach Henderson for just a moment as well, because by all accounts, Drake landed a wonderful coach. What would you share about Coach Henderson?
Yeah, I mean, they landed even a better person. I first met him when he was 17 years old when I recruited him out of Maquoketa Valley, and he was a big reason that my coaching career took off, because he was an incredible culture guy, an unbelievable leader, and a heck of a player for us, for a guy that really couldn't shoot and couldn't make a free throw to save his rear. But he's what you see is what you get with Hendo. I haven't met many guys in my life that have never had a bad day, and he's one of them. So, and as I told Brian when we talked about him leading up to his interview, his attitude and his personality is going to be infectious in their department, because he's going to make you smile. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life that day. He's going to walk in the room and he's going to uplift you. And obviously, his work stands for itself. He's done an unbelievable job at South Dakota State. And he works really hard. I think he's really going to connect with the community in a way that I think Drake fans are really going to enjoy.
A lot more pressure at that job now for what D-Rock did and Ben McCollum as well. All of a sudden, there's pressure at Drake to win now. When you were in the Valley, Drake wasn't that good.
Yeah, they had 1 year in particular that they were pretty dang good. When that was it, Josh Young? Was that his name? What was Josh's last name?
Yes.
That I think was Keno the coach that year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a heck of a basketball team.
Wow.
But I think things have changed at Drake since then too. I think there's a commitment level, and being so close to D-Rock and now Hendo, and listen to them speak about Brian and his leadership. There's a reason that they've been successful. And I think the pieces are in place. And obviously anytime you're starting over and trying to rebuild an entire roster, it's not easy. And I stopped in Des Moines last week on my way back to Cascade and took Hendo to Jethro's for the first time. And he's really excited about this roster and thinks they can add a couple more pieces, and he'll get them back where they need to be.
All right, so you've mentioned this kind of changing culture, the transfer portal, how you started by talking about how you're an old guy and been around a long time. Most of the coaches that claim to be old guys and around a long time, they're slow to the transition, they're resistant. Heck, some of them are getting out of the game. You're not that way. You've kind of stayed ahead of the curve here. These changes that have happened are what allowed you to stay ahead of the curve? Do you feel like you're ahead of the curve?
Yeah, I think there's been, Ross, so many changes in the 35 years I've been in the profession. And as things have changed, you either figure out a way to adapt or you're going to get left behind. And these were certainly monumental changes. I think the transfer portal in itself, the 1 year, immediate eligibility, would have been a huge change to our game. You add to it NIL at the same time, and the ability for them to earn money for their name, image, and likeness. That in itself would have been a huge change. But when they hit together, it was a shock, I think, to the college athletic world. And we had a plan in place that first year that at least allowed us to be competitive. And the support in Omaha has been incredible. So we've been able to at least come up with enough NIL money to be competitive, not necessarily at the top of our league. But I think we're in the upper half. And I think if you can do that and have enough where you can be competitive, I think relationships and style of play and all that stuff then matters. But if you don't have a number that works, that stuff doesn't mean quite what it used to mean. So, but I still think there are young people and their families that are looking for a particular situation, a particular style of play. And fortunately we've been able to find those guys.
Are there advantages to being a basketball only school? Everybody talks about football paying the bills, and they're like, well, how is the Big East going to make it in this world of millions of dollars? But are there advantages for a basketball only school for guys that only want to play basketball?
Yeah. I mean, it's as a player, not having a football team is kind of nice, because I remember at Iowa State, every home football game, our guys were on call because you had recruits in every home football game. So your players really didn't have a chance to get out of town prior to the start of your season unless the football team was on the road. So that part of it's kind of nice. Our guys kind of have their weekends unless we have a kid on campus. But, it's the football schools have such a big number coming from their television contracts compared to a basketball only league. And while the Big East is, in terms of leagues that don't have football, we're at the top, but it pales in comparison to the millions and millions of dollars that the Big Ten and the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC are being paid. So the good news is we can go as far as we want to go with NIL, but we have to raise it. You have to figure out a way to generate that revenue either internally with some changes in your seating structure, your donation structure, or you have to go out and raise the money. And my fear is that the donor fatigue is right around the corner. And I understand their frustration. They're paying a lot of money and donating a lot of money to guys that may or may not stay more than a year. And if I'm a donor, that's frustrating. It's one thing to be an owner of a team. That's in some ways that's what the donors are nowadays with NIL. But without contracts that are keeping guys around for a long period of time, it can be frustrating.
One of the things that Travis and I have talked about a lot, it seems to be a key factor in success, longevity in the Division I college basketball world, coaching world specifically, is the connection to the community. You kind of mentioned it there for a moment about how Omaha has been a great support system for you. Was it that way from the minute you walked in, or what did you do to be able to build that connection to that community?
I mean, that's always been an important part of every stop that I've had, whether I was an assistant at the University of North Dakota and being active in the community there, to Wayne State College, to UNI, to Iowa State. I think you have to be out and you have to be active, and people want to get to know you. And, especially when you're going to continue to ask them to do things for you, you can't lock yourself in the office as a head basketball coach and just put your head down and go to work. To me, it's a very important part of the job. And to be honest, I think it's more fun when you're successful, when you have a lot of people that you've developed relationships with in your community that celebrate with you. And it's a little bit easier to get through the tough times when they get to know exactly who you are and what you stand for. So that, Omaha is an incredibly welcoming community. It's one of the biggest small towns I've ever been part of. Yes, somebody in Omaha where they go to school, they tell you where they went to high school, not where they went to college. And
Creighton Prep. My son went to prep, right?
Yeah, back in Iowa, they'll tell you where they went to college. So that part of it has been really cool for me. And, it's hard to believe it's been 15 years already. But, I've got, a ton of great relationships in this community that are going to be with me for the rest of my life.
Don't kid yourself, Ross. I live in Omaha, as you know. It's an election year in Omaha. He could run for mayor and win, and he's got the best post game routine because there's a bar right across the street from the CHI Center called Let It Fly, which is a Creighton themed bar. And after the games, you just show up and have a cocktail or two, right?
It's perfect. Win or lose, you stop over at Let It Fly for a quick cocktail after the game. But it's a special place, as Travis knows. People have really bought into what we're doing and how we're doing it. And, to see the CHI Health Center full game after game after game, you don't have to worry about that part of it. So you can concentrate between the four lines and making sure you're getting the right guys in the program that fit our culture, and then try to, put a brand of basketball on the floor that's fun to watch.
So let's dive back into the transfer portal, because a lot of people that watch this show and listen to this show are Iowa fans. And you grabbed two after Fran McCaffrey left Iowa. You grabbed two former Hawkeyes. Let's start with Owen Freemen. I remember when he played over there, I think it was his freshman year, his mid-range jumper against you guys was tremendous that night. You lose Ryan Kalkbrenner. You replace him with Owen Freemen. What does he bring to your style of basketball? Yeah,
and I remember that night vividly, Travis. And that's, I remember telling my staff after that game, that young kid is going to be special. He's going to be really good before it's all over. And when the decision was made with Fran, those players were allowed to go in the transfer portal at that time. So it was before the transfer portal opened. So, we were kind of able to get a head start. I was able to meet with both Owen and Josh, and then get him to campus relatively quickly. And I think Owen was really impressed when he was at Creighton for that game, to see the crowd and how into it, and how the entire community gravitates to Creighton games and supports them. And he also got a feel for how we play the game. That even though Kalkbrenner was 7-1, we played with great pace. The spacing is great. There's a lot of shooting. So when there's a lot of shooting, it leaves a lot of one-on-one situations for the guys inside. So I think he felt it was a great fit for him. And obviously I thought it was a great fit for us. And he's certainly a different player than Ryan Kalkbrenner. Defensively, we'll have to do some things differently than we did with Ryan. But I think Owen's ability to score with his back to the basket and in the mid-range, as you alluded to, is really elite. And it's going to be fun to come up with some ways to get him the basketball.
And Travis got another one, because I was in this transfer portal world, Coach. How do you find the guys that are the right culture fit when it seems like it's got to be kind of shotgun wedding type of situation? You got to make decisions fast, got to sign contracts or whatever these are called, got to get kids in quick. How do you know you're getting the right culture guy? How do you vet those situations properly?
Yeah, I call it speed dating.
That's a great way to put it. Thank you. Yeah,
you swipe left or swipe right, whatever that used to be. You make a quick decision and you move on to the next. But that's really important to us, and obviously where they came from and who they played for. I've known Fran McCaffrey forever, and I know the type of program that he runs. I also know that Josh and Owen had tremendous respect for Fran, and I think they'd still be there if Fran was still there. That's how highly they thought of him. The fact that they played for a coach that coached him and was about the right things. And, because I'm from the state of Iowa, I've watched those guys grow up. My dad's a huge Hawkeye fan. So I really knew everything about them. Josh grew up right across the river in Council Bluffs, so I was familiar with him in high school. But, the guys from other places, you just make a lot of phone calls. And, you talk to people that have competed against them. You've talked to their coaching staff. You go all the way back to high school and AAU. And then you get them on campus and you see how they interact with your guys. And, our guys understand our culture. The leadership last year with Ashworth and Kalkbrenner and Jemiah Neal did a great job of setting the stage for what needs to come next with these younger guys we have in our program. So they have a good feel when these kids visit campus, what they're about. And, we've built this program with unselfish people, and selfish people aren't going to really work very well here. So I think unselfish people kind of gravitate towards other people that are unselfish. So we're really excited about the group that we have. And now the reality of it is, Ross, if you do this, it used to be you'd have 9 or 10 guys returning, you replace 3, maybe 4 every year. So you knew what you had, and you recruited those other 3 or 4 for a year or 2 years, sometimes more. So you really knew it inside and out, and you had a pretty good idea how it was going to fit together. The reality of it in the world we live in, and I tell our booster base this all the time, the NIL money doesn't guarantee success. It gives us a chance. There is going to be a time when we bring a group together that we think is going to fit really well together, and it's not going to, because you have so many pieces that you're trying to fit together every single year. So you do the best job you can, trying to do the research that you have to do to make sure they fit. And I'm hopeful that that's the case with this group.
You mentioned Josh Dix. Did you recruit him a lot in high school? And for as many 3-pointers as you shoot, and you lose it, Ashworth, I mean, it looks on paper and video, it's like a perfect fit.
Yeah, and Josh came out of high school the same time we had Trey Alexander. So the reality of it wasn't a great fit for us at that particular point in time. But obviously, I've watched Josh grow and develop, and being from here, when he decided to go into the portal, he became a huge priority for us. And I think once he got here, and again, he's played against us. He's watched. They were going to games. I think they had season tickets till he was a freshman in high school. His family did. So they've watched us play. They've seen the different teams that we've had go through here, and while the names on the back of the jerseys have changed, the way that we've tried to play the game has not changed. And I think Josh was really attracted to that. And it's going to be fun for him to really have his family and his friends here in town really be part of his last year.
Coach, you seem like – go ahead, Trav. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Ross.
I was just going to say that you seem like you're enjoying this. I mean, a lot of the coaches we talk to, you can feel the stress and the changing world weighing heavy on them. I don't see that from you.
I mean, Ross, it's really about the people you're around. And, and I've got obviously a lot of friends in the coaching profession. And most of the time on March 1st or late February, when we're talking to one another, a lot of guys can't wait for the season to be over. Even guys that are having a successful year that are going to go to the NCAA tournament. And that wasn't the case with this team. I hated to see it end. Because they were such a joy to be around every single day. They really celebrated each other's success. And, we had a lot of adversity in November and December. We weren't very good. We had injuries. We had moved guys around. A couple guys left the program at Christmas time. And so we had to reinvent ourselves. And it was just really a lot of fun. And it was really enjoyable. And, I just came from a workout with the guys downstairs a couple hours ago. And, they're fun to be around. And, that's what's kind of kept me going in this era where a lot of guys have gotten out of it. And, they say a lot of the things that I'm thinking, but as long as I love coaching and being on the floor and I can be around the right people, I've got a great coaching staff and a great support staff. If you enjoy your job, then you don't have a lot to complain about.
Okay, but you have technically named your successor in Alan Huss, which was funny. I was telling you beforehand that before Brian Harden hired Hendo, I'm like, hire Alan Huss. And then he looked at me and goes, oh, he's on the bigger and better things. And 2 days later, he's announced the coach in waiting. So you've essentially announced your retirement in a way. You're young. You're 60 years old?
Yep.
Have you put a timetable on that? Are you talking 1 year, 2 years, or is it whatever you feel like?
There's not necessarily a timetable. And obviously I want to be fair to Coach Huss as well. But, I've been here 15 years, and it's I think the longer I'm doing this, the more I think maybe it's a young person's game with with everything that we have to do. But I still enjoy it, and Al's given me the flexibility to walk away when I want to walk away. But I've always felt I wanted one of my guys to get this job when I was done. And what you see now, and what I've tried to explain to our administration is, programs don't gradually go south anymore. It used to be, you had a good year and then you weren't quite as good, and then it fell a little more, and then that third year kind of you fell off the table. And well, now you fall off a cliff in 1 year or in one season. And I use DeVries as an example. He goes to Indiana, and it's the Indiana job, which is a great job. And 4 days after he takes a job, he has nobody on the roster. I mean, his son was probably even thinking twice about going with him. So, I didn't want that to happen to this program when I'm done. I wanted to be, and my hope was it would be DeVries or Huss. And obviously when Darren took the Indiana job, he was probably out. So Al and I had some conversations a couple months ago about the possibility if it presented itself. And fortunately, I was able to get the administration here on board. And it just allows me to walk away from a program that means a lot to me, knowing that it's in good hands, knowing that it's not going to implode if I decide to retire. And that's a comforting way to go out as a head coach, because obviously I've invested a lot in this program, and I want it to continue to be successful long after I've been here. And next year will be, what is it? Dana was here 16. Next year will be my 16th year, so it's 32 years with two head coaches at Creighton. And my hope is, another 15 years from now, it'll be three head coaches at Creighton in almost 50 years when Coach Huss takes over. So no definitive timeline. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I enjoy it, but then be really happy to hand the reins to him when that time comes.
I mean, would you say, okay, I don't want to coach anymore, but I could be like a GM and still be involved? Or when you're out, are you like, I'm going to Arizona and I'm golfing?
Well, I'm kind of already the GM. So
that's true. That's fair.
I'm trying to get rid of some of those jobs. We don't have a GM, so I think that's me. But when the time comes, I'll definitely want to spend some time in Arizona in the winter. But I'm going to be part of Creighton basketball as long as he'll allow me to be part of it. And anything that I can do to help him in the community when that time comes, I'm going to be there to do it. These people mean a lot to me. This place has given me a lot, and I owe so much to this university and to this community that I'll continue to give back as long as I can.
I tell you what, they're two great men. You were talking about D-Rock. My mom just passed away, and one of the first texts I got was from D-Rock just saying something. And then I wore a shirt the other day on Facebook, and it was an old Creighton basketball camp shirt. And Alan wrote me, he goes, "Hey, that was from the 2002 camp." And I'm like, oh, my God, you remember that stuff. It cracks me up. Before we let you go, you mentioned you were over in Cascade this past weekend. How often do you get back at home?
Not enough. Fortunately, I've been back there a couple times the last month. I'm sorry to hear about your mom. My mom passed away 2 years ago this summer. So my dad's still back there, 91 years old. So I try to get back, and I've got a good friend from high school that has some health issues that I'm trying to get back and see him as much as I can as well. So I just think as you get older, and as you know, when you lose a parent, you want to be there as much as you can. And I've got a brother that's on our home farm and two brothers in Cedar Rapids, and they carry a lot of the weight. I don't feel like I do my part very often. So it's great to get back there because when you go back to Cascade, they don't give a hell what the hell you're still the same idiot you were when you were in high school when you walk into the one of the bars in Cascade, and that makes it a lot of fun to go back.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Good stuff, especially about Owen Freemen and Josh Dix. Yeah. Being around the program the way I have been, I know they're going to be difference makers. And I know Tom Chattel from the Omaha World Herald wrote an article like when the season was over, did Creighton miss its chance? I think you filled the gaps to where you still have a chance.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, and obviously, St. John's and UConn's flexing their muscles a little bit in the transfer portal right now. But there's great teams and great coaches across this league, and we think we've got a group that will be connected. They'll be unselfish. With two freshmen, and I think we'll have 4 sophomores or 5 sophomores. So we'll be relatively young in terms of what I think Auburn was the same age as Oklahoma City Thunder when we played them this year in the NCAA tournament. So. There's some old teams that you run into, and we're going to roll some young guys out there, but we're going to have fun. I think we'll get better as the season goes on, and hopefully get back to that NCAA tournament.
Best of luck, Coach. Thank you so much for giving us time.
Great to catch up, guys. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye. Greg McDermott joining us on the Rush Radio Show, and just a fabulous human being. So personable. You can see how he relates to players, relates to fans, and makes that connection. And definitely appreciate him giving us the time to talk about his program. And, of course, those 2 transfers in Owen Freemen and Josh Dix, as they are now part of the Creighton program after leaving Iowa. When we come back, Ross will be back with us. So will Bruno. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm Corey Warren, and I'm an automotive technician here. I've worked here for right over 3 years. I was working for an independent shop. I'd say the environment, it's laid back and easy to get along with everybody. I've got a lot of old cars me and my brothers and dad work on, so I do a lot of that stuff. There's actually stuff to do. I grew up in a small town, so there's not that far from being able to do stuff.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
If you have a pest problem with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
Believe it or not, spring is coming. When it does, be absolutely organized with custom garage or closet systems from Absolute Garage and Closets. Turn a winter mess into a spring success at our showroom in Urbandale or visit absolutegarage.net.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Spring cleaning continues. Come down to Land Rover Des Moines to get your front and rear differential fluid services done for $199.95 each. Preventative maintenance is important to ensure your vehicle runs smoothly down the road. To schedule, give us a call or head online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Ross Peterson, I'm getting my energy. I've had my cup of coffee today. Now I'm drinking a Rainstorm from Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling, going with the tropical Rainstorm. Getting my energy on. If you need your energy, all natural energy that increases energy, accelerates your metabolism, it's Rainstorm from Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company.
You know, you posted that photo the other day when we were at Truman's. Young lady behind the counter, right in front of us, cracked open that 42 gram of protein core power and started chugging the strawberry right in front of us. You're like, oh, let me get a photo. And then you posted that photo. Courtney had a good idea the other day. We should have our listeners send us in photos of them drinking Atlantic Bottling Company stuff.
Yeah, whether that's a Coke, whether that's an orange Coke, whether that's Core Power, Topo Chico,
Powerade Zero.
Powerade Zero.
Powerade. I mean, and you can have the sugar if you want it. I don't care.
So, yeah. And again, thanks to Greg McDermott. What a personable guy, and just so much fun to talk to, and open and honest. I mean, he's pretty darn transparent. That would be weird to be sitting in your office going, yeah, somebody's waiting to take this, and I'm working with them. But I do think Darren DeVries getting the Indiana job is what sped that along. Is like, boy, if you get the Indiana job, where's Alan Huss going to go? And if I want him to be the next head coach, I got to go get him.
Well, and initially we're like, what's the timeline on this? And he goes, oh, there's no timeline. But then at some point he did sneak in in the next year or two.
Yeah.
So good for him.
I
Good
think it's a
for
2-year
Coach
thing.
McDermott, man.
Yeah.
Even, you talk to Iowa State fans that were really in tune with the program while he was there. And just like he said, I didn't have the success I wanted to have there. It didn't work out for me. Man, that worked out for everybody. Like that adversity in his career, it seemed to kind of show some more of his character. And now you get to enjoy the sunshine because of those dark days a little more. And look at what it did for Iowa State basketball. Fred Hoiberg comes in and kaboom.
And the cool thing about that is he gets to go out on his own terms. Not many coaches get to go out on their own terms.
Not many people do, dude.
And go out popular. One of the popular guys that we have on the Rush Radio Show is the one, the only Bruno. What's up, man?
What's up? How are y'all?
Couldn't be
Doing
better.
good, man. Doing good.
Why do I always look weird? You guys look all polished and good, and I look like I cannot get it going here.
I showered this morning.
There
I
we go.
showered and
Oh, I
shaved.
like
I have to MC an event tonight where I get to be with Nancy Kerrigan. I'm going to throw this out to you. Ross and I were talking about this before we went on the air. What year did the Nancy Kerrigan, Jeff Gillooly, Tanya Harding fiasco take place?
1986.
Wow.
I've watched all the documentaries.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
kind of threw it out there. I knew it had to be 80s, but it has to be not
here's-
88 or 84. But is it in there? Am I close?
So it's funny, Bruno, you actually missed it the other direction from what I would have said.
Oh, it's 92.
It was
90.
92. It was 92. Because remember, back then, the Winter and Summer Olympics happened in the same year.
Oh, see,
So-
I was even playing the game where it didn't. So
Yeah. So they and then the 92 Winter Olympics were in Albertville, France. Is that what we decided, Travis?
Yes.
I mean, not that we decided. We didn't decide that. That's what we discovered, or
That's what we looked up, and that's what it
the
said.
information we found.
it sounds made up.
But then we started going through the cast of characters: Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Hardy, Jeff Galooly was that name. So
I know people get like a little tired of when I do this, but that was one of the best Seinfeld episodes where it's Bette Midler's in it, and her understudy is this girl who they accuse Jerry and Kramer and George of like hurting Bette Midler so she could get the job, and Jerry was dating her, and she's like has no emotion like when her grandma dies, but then when she drops her hot dog at a baseball game, she starts crying, and Jerry's like, oh, they're there, it's okay. It's just really funny. They do the whole bit. I don't know.
I remember that.
Losing y'all. It's a good
no,
one.
No. I remember that bit. It was funny. I would agree with you. That's one of the more memorable ones. That and
I can't do that though. Like I can't. There's a few moments of Seinfeld that I remember, but not that many.
I have the opposite. I have a struggle not to find something that's the same as, like, I suppose being on the radio in my office is something I never saw on Seinfeld.
That's fair.
Or
and
any
you probably,
kind of radio thing.
You probably like doing this a lot better than driving into the studio every Thursday. A lot easier.
Yeah, fighting the school traffic and being late and running into my car, buttoning up my shirt while I'm driving down the road. Although I don't wear button-up shirts hardly ever, but
Bruno used to ride the bike in.
I've done that,
it's that time of year where Bruno would show up wearing the safety vest, riding and I say riding the bike, but he would more drive it.
Well, it doesn't move if I don't pedal, so I'll just say that part.
Okay, all right, okay.
It's what they call pedal assist.
Bruno, I found an article this week that I thought you would enjoy. They're getting ready to do the London Marathon, and so a group of bar owners got together and decided that they would do the basically the route as a pub crawl. So the route for the marathon, all of the pubs along the route got together and put together a pub crawl. So if you don't want to run the 26.2 miles, you just want to get drunk along the route, come on.
I need you to send me that article because it's really weird. We're having this conversation where we might have. So Single Speed's doing a beer mile here coming up soon at the brewery. And then we talk about the Royal Mile because it's mile. We should be doing a mile. But I think if we figured it out right, we could probably do the Royal Mile, Hessen House, Bay Chop High Life back to the Royal Mile.
Okay.
Or maybe terminate end at Ken's or New Fongs or whatever.
Yeah, find that route. Right. I'm sure.
Or the Royal Mile-ish, And,
yeah.
So we could get a lot of stuff done there. You and your articles you're finding out there kind of stealing my thunder.
Uh-oh. What did you find? Was this one of yours too?
No,
but
okay. Someday it's going to overlap because the serial Guinness record breaker, David Rush, has. I want to ask you guys.
Slow down for me. Slow down for a minute. When you say serial Guinness record breaker, you mean this guy breaks a lot of world records?
That's his shtick, and Rush, no affiliation with the show. David Rush.
Huh.
Now this is sort of like your gorilla with 100 guys thing. I want to know if this is really worthy of a record. Put his speedy stacking skills to the test to take the title of the fastest time to stack 10 rolls of toilet paper with one hand.
Come on.
Rush holds the most current Guinness World Record titles. Said it took him hundreds of practice sessions and dozens of official attempts to break the previous record of 5.45 seconds.
That's incredible. First of all,
that's fast.
That's incredible. With one hand, 10 stacks of toilet paper.
He finally narrowly took the title with a time of 5.38 seconds.
What's more hard to believe, that he did it in 5.38 seconds, or that there's actually a Guinness Book of World Record for stacking toilet paper?
Well, I don't know when they went off the rail. Like when I don't know, like sitting on a pole for 55 hours or something. I mean, I suppose, but like, is that really a record? Like what? I just don't know what should be a record and what shouldn't, but he said he rolled.
Bruno, this is one of those art, or pornography. You know it when you see it.
Yeah.
Should this be a record? No. No.
Yeah, it's the serial record breaker said his efforts have slowed as of late due to starting a new job, but he still is taking aim at new titles.
We should come up with a Guinness Book of World Record for El Bait Shop or High Life Lounge. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, see, it can't be a world record if it's, you know what I mean? Like there might be a thing of like world record number of taps in an establishment or something like that. But
that's the Beer Garden in Raleigh, North Carolina. They have like 500 or 365 or something. It's insane.
That's beer overload. I mean, I'm intimidated when I go to the bait shop. I'm like, I don't know. Just pick something for me. If I had 300 and some up there, I'd be like, oh God.
Well, and I always thought, that was the thing. It was really annoying. So height of the pandemic, trying to keep our nose above water, trying to stay in business. I got a letter from the Better Business Bureau for saying that we had the most American craft on tap. Somebody called me out and said, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, okay, it's the Better Business Bureau saying you can't say that. I'm like, okay. Like I was really rude. I said, so this is what your life is. This is what you do.
And
this is that.
Were you wrong? Were you wrong?
Well, I have been to the Raleigh Beer Garden twice now since then. And they do see at the time, I forgot that North Carolina has a lot of craft beer. So they have a lot of North Carolina beer, and fair enough, like whatever. So now we're most west of the Mississippi. It's just a way to say something. I mean, we have
it's the stacking toilet paper with one hand.
Yeah, it's again, Seinfeld. Call me crazy, but is that a lot of tap handles? No, you're not crazy. That is a lot of tap handles. It's 264 at our height. That's insane. It's insane to me, and I was the one running the thing.
And the Better Business Bureau makes a phone call.
And I mean, like, you do know, like, let me check my. Yeah, it's still the pandemic. Why are you bothering me right now? I'm trying to figure out if anyone will drink that beer, let alone saying how many.
How to get it to people and keep people's paychecks coming. And yeah, you bet. I'll change my advertising.
Well, and I mean, again, like we talk about what's a record, what's not, what's an infraction of the Better Business Bureau. What is really like? I don't like. Come on. Like if somebody's saying now with 100% beef, then I think people should be asking the question, what was it before it was 100%? Those kind of questions, not like, well, you got to prove, you got to have like a Guinness Book of World Record. I have to have some sort of proof that we have the most beer. Like, what do I call up some national accounting firm to do the study? I don't know. It's weird.
Hey, Bruno. So JT, one of our listeners, who's a regular customer down at El Bait Shop, a beer drinker, he's asked a good question, and I think he's specifically asking about the beer garden in Raleigh, North Carolina, with the 365. But even when you had 200 plus, and now with still as many as you do at El Bait Shop, can you explain to people how do all of those lines get cleaned? Because you're putting different beer through those taps. What's the quality control over the number of years you've been at El Bait Shop to maintain that many beers turning over?
Well, there's a few things. It's Excel spreadsheet is a game changer. So you'll have let's just say single speed worldwide haze is on, and we put on when it went on. We put what's coming on behind it if we're changing it out. We have a thing when the line, like when it was last cleaned in our spreadsheet. We also have a thing in there, at least at one time. Now it might have changed because we reset it all. But when we're doing, we're actually pulling all the lines out and putting brand new in. We keep a track of that until they're all completely gutted and brought back together. And we have a cleaning tank, and every time we change a beer, we clean the line. And the lines are, I got to explain, but the lines are no more than like 10 foot long. At Prairie Meadows at one time, they had beer that they would go through an entire keg because that's how much beer fit in the lines from where it was tapped to where it came out at.
Holy cow.
It's insane amount. Like it's a lot of beer. So ours is only a short while. And so it's easy to change them out. So we do that. We keep really good track of it. And then I have to be straightforward. If we have Gable Lager on and we put in a hoppy beer behind it, we just put it on. You can't tell that there was any issue. It's not, you don't have to clean. Actually, the thing is you clean the line, the more it gets used, but then you also want to clean it. Like if you have like a peanut butter stout or a raspberry so-and-so, you do want to clean that line, make sure you get all the raspberry flavor or the cinnamon flavor or whatever.
So when you say, so you and JT just asked this question, in some states it's the bar, in some states it's the vendor. Is this something that one of your employees does, or is this like, hey, single speed, if your beer is going to go on there, you guys want to make sure that it's the right quality?
So the distributorships usually do it, but in a place like ours, we just have to do it, or we'd have beers never, you'd have to wait a week before they come in the next time, or 2 weeks.
Okay.
They do it about every 2 weeks, regardless of
there's the thing. But it's not a state. This is one of the few things that's not actually regulated by the state as to who has to clean the lines.
I don't believe so, but I will tell you, I wouldn't drink beer out of tap in a place in a state that doesn't require it of some way, shape, or form. Like, it's why I say, if you go to a hotel, if you're going to a hotel and you want to get a beer, don't get a tap beer. Get something in a bottle or can and ask them to not open it so you can see how old it is. If you're a craft beer drinker, if you're drinking Busch Light, it doesn't matter. And I'm not making fun of Busch Light. I'm just saying Busch Light doesn't have a lot of things going on that like create weird flavors. And they're made to sit on a shelf for a year, which they never do because everyone drinks Busch Light or Bud Light or Coors Light.
Yeah, right.
But that's that,
I'll make sure. Go ahead.
It's going to be busy downtown on Saturday. The farmers market opens first weekend of the farmers market. So, I mean, do you guys open earlier? What? You got a lot of establishments down there. How much does the farmers market change the pathway and the accessibility of your services?
Well, I heard that they're expanding by 12 blocks. It's also been a lot of people down there. Hessen House, Royal Mile do the most. Royal Mile already opens up for breakfast, so we're open up for breakfast and soccer. So come on down. We have Sticky Toffee coffee, but we have coffee too. The Hessen House and El Bait Shop, High Life will all be open. We don't open early at El Bait Shop or High Life, but the Hessen and Royal Mile do because they're right in the middle. I spent the last few days cleaning up the old Fongs, and we're getting closer and closer every day to opening up what we're calling the Empire. And I don't even know if that's breaking news or not, but we're going to call it the Empire. I'll tell you more details as we get closer, but pretty excited about that.
Did you know this, Ross? I had no clue you were doing this.
Stop, wait. I love it when this happens.
Well, it boils down to, because I'm so busy doing things, but it boils down to we have a lease still in place that we have to honor or find somebody else to do it. We think we have a good idea. I'll tell you more details, but we just basically boils down to business. Everything that I've done, everyone's like, oh, so I thought you said you're not going to do any new places. Like, it's all business moves. It's not Skoll. It's not like we just got to keep pushing ideas out in the world to see if they make sense. No, it's not ideas anymore. It's business. Like, how can we create a business that can make money so that we can stay open at all of our other places? Fongs had just outgrown its space, really, in the mines and in the ability to do what we need to do. So we are expanding. I'm here to tell you on June 13th, we're doing a bicycle tour. It's for Art Parks, FORE. It's an 18-hole golf at Waveland Golf Course, and then they ride 18 miles, stopping at Fongs and stopping at Captain Roy's.
You lost Travis at ride 18 miles.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You did. I was all into the golf, and then
I watched his face go.
Well, you can pack your clubs up and meet at the party. which I would never thought I would say. We're gonna have 200 plus bicyclists at Fong's to have a party, and we'll have a patio deal. I've got working with the city of Des Moines to put in bike racks and different things. So it's going to be extremely bike friendly, just like the bait shop was. And looking forward to that. So I never thought I'd be saying those words. I never also thought I'd be saying this month's Celiac Awareness Month. So
there you go.
The Iowa Tap Room is rolling out new gluten-free items and to pair with gluten-free beers and sours on tap. And I will tell you, my beer buyer there has celiac disease. Jay, our buyer, found out. He worked at the bait shop. Now he's over there. He really understands beer. So he's still doing it, but he found out he can't drink beer anymore.
Wow.
So if he needs somebody to taste it, he has other people to taste, but he understands who's doing well. And they're always adding new breweries and stuff at the bait shop. They're at the Iowa Tap Room.
Yeah. I've always... Guys don't need to drink to be able to tell me about liquor. I've always thought Ed Wilson doesn't need to be in the rain to tell me it's raining.
Yeah, no, and we discussed that. It's like, what if I don't drink anymore? And I really don't so much. I say this all the time. I sit across from, unless they're like, well, how many people do you know that have drank every day of their lives and they're 80 still? Most people can't. Their bodies can't take that. So yeah. I feel like at 54. Rare is the time somebody's drank more volume of beer than I have. It's a rare person that has that is still above ground to talk about it. Because I'm pretty sure I found, like, some days I'd be like, oh, I drank 12 beers last night. I'm like, what did I do? Speaking of drinking beer, patio weather's coming up, and come on out to our patios, monthly pizza specials and live music at Truman's, but all our patios are up and running and ready to go. And guess what? Street legal El Bait Shop is 19 this year on Cinco.
El Bait Shop is 19 on here in 4 days.
Wow. 4 days. Yep. Right after
hell of a run, dude.
After May the 4th and after Baconfest. You got Baconfest, you got May the 4th, and then you got Cinco.
And by the way, speaking of patios and your spots, Truman's, where Travis and I had brunch last Saturday, just dedicated their patio. They're going to be building a new kind of stage outside to really enhance their outdoor music stuff. They've got an amazing lineup of music all summer long. And they dedicated their patio to a friend of ours, Wendy Hull, who passed away last year. Huge supporter of local music. So that was really cool that Chris and the gang have done that. So if you're at Truman's and check out their live music, take a second to remember our friend Wendy.
I couldn't say anything more than that. Yeah, no. Get on a bike, ride your bike out, watch some bands, drink some beers, enjoy your friends.
I can do everything but ride the bike. I mean, I can ride a bike. It's just that's just too much.
This is like when people tell me to read a book. I go, I can. I just don't wanna. I'm able to.
No thanks.
I can read. I just don't like to.
Well, I can't read. I fall asleep. It takes me a month to read a book, but now I listen to books, and I listen to one every about 3 days. I used to ride bike probably 500 miles a year, but when I found Dan at Ichi Bike and he hooked me up with electric, I'm on my 4th electric bike, and the year of the pandemic, I rode 5,000 miles. So it's awesome.
Hold on. You're on your 4th electric bike. I'm hearing either electric bikes aren't that good in quality, or you just want to keep upping what you have in the electric bike.
I'm leveling up.
Okay.
I am. When people ask me, well, how much did that cost? Is like, I would rather not tell you. My bicycle is not something I want to tell them how much I paid for it, but I will say I love it. Swiss made. I'll just say it. It's made in Switzerland.
He's like, have you ever priced a BMW motorcycle? It's in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I would wish it would have been that cheap. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that much.
Kidding.
What's the battery life on an electric bicycle? I mean, can you go 20 miles on it, 30 miles, 40 miles?
This one, if I'm in eco mode, 165 miles.
Oh, wow.
I get all the way to...
see, when you say eco mode, that's a fancy way of saying you still have to pedal.
I have to pedal on all of it. I ride turbo almost always and plug it in after about 4 rides. So it's awesome. I love it. It goes 28 miles on a flat. I'm usually going at least 28 to 30 miles an hour. And, 30-mile ride, 30 miles an hour, do the math. It doesn't take that much. It also less time on my bike.
An hour. I did the math there pretty quick. An hour,
yeah. But, yeah. So, go out and practice stacking toilet paper with one hand.
Yeah, good luck with that. I do have an idea on that, though, that we take that guy's records and we create some sort of decathlon type of thing for our Fat Man Olympics thing that we want to do.
That's right. Based on Wall-E when they're in the hover rounds. Like anything, it has to all be done in hover rounds, scooters.
All right, Bruno, we got to let you go. Thanks, buddy. We'll catch up next week.
All right.
All right, Ross, fun show, fast show, and tomorrow's going to be another fast show. We've got Chris Conley going to be joining us tomorrow from the Iowa Event Center, Wells Fargo Arena, and Brooks Reynolds.
Preparation for the big Baconfest.
And I'm going to call you a bit later on. I'm going to try to add one more interview about 6:30 if we can, but I'll call you a little bit later.
I'm good with that. You bet.
It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? The kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Hey everybody, this is Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity. A couple of great things going on this month. We got tons of inventory, and on top of that right now, we have 1.99 out to 60 months on the new QX60 and up to $2,500 in cash on here. Also this month, we are still doing the 2.9% up to 60 on new QX80s, the 3000 in Conquest. For more information, visit your favorite Infinity sales consultant on our showroom or online at willisinfinity.com.
Do you have a pest problem? With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.